This is episode 293 of the Super League pod. Get ready as we try to catch up on 3 months of news in one show. Who is commanding the Rugby League Costa Concordia? Where is the breakdance beef? And will we ever see a 2040? Are some of the questions we try to answer. As well as that, we recap the Challenge Cup action with your fan reviews, and we make our Round 1 Super League guesses. Buckle up, we're back! Hello listeners, welcome along to episode 293 of the Super League pod. We are in the weekly grind, and this week it is myself, Mark, and I'm joined by Rugby League nut Tim G. Hi Tim.
Good evening, how are you doing?
I'm alright, yeah. It's do you know, I had a great time recording the show last Thursday with all of us together, and it made me really excited to get the season underway properly, and that's what we're doing tonight. How about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's nice, isn't it, to be starting a little bit later and a little bit warmer. Now it's getting into spring, and really summer is not long away. It's quite nice to have something to look forward to, and hopefully won't be long before we're back doing it properly. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, May's when that should happen, and May's also when the League One season starts as well, which is when you should be back in stadium yourself. So that's quite exciting, isn't it? Because we've got big butts again this year.
Exactly, we've got big butts, and we definitely cannot lie. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the last few weeks we sort of started to ramp up the preparation. The squad themselves have been back in training this weekend, so that's good, and it's really starting to take pace, and we've got some good things planned this year. So hopefully they can come off to make it a little bit different, make it a good day out, as we have done before. Yeah, well, we'll drip in little bits of Bears stuff as we go along. Did I tell you that I got a Bears shirt for this year? I got the away shirt. It's very nice, very fetching, very slimming. In black. Is that the black? Yeah, I've got one of each. So I've got the blue one. I have it hanging up on my door in my little room that I work in, so that when I'm on a video call, everybody asks me, "Oh, what shirt's that? Is that Coventry City?" No, actually, I think you'll find. So it's a good little conversation starter behind me.
Excellent stuff. Do you want to tell everyone about our episode sponsor?
If we thought about this 5 minutes ago, we could have done it. He could have done it himself.
Well, that's a spoiler, but yeah.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Rob's Toy Shop. Oh, hang on, it's not 5 minutes ago. It's 15
If we'd have thought about that in half an hour's time.
Yeah. Oh, we've broken the space-time continuum again. Anyway, this episode is sponsored by Rob's Toy Shop. Find a wide range of toys, gifts, rugby league birthday cards and more at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. Visit stores.ebay.co.uk/Rob's Toy Shop, and on any orders over £5 you can earn 5% cashback. Also, 1% of your order value will go to the SLP coffers just by putting SLP discount, that's SLP discount, in at the checkout.
Yep. Great stuff. So what we've got coming up today, we'll catch up on a bit of news from the last few months, really, whilst we've been away, right up to the present day with Lee's late bit of business. There's a heavily teased special guest in the middle of all that, with the big news that broke out at Castleford hours after we recorded the season preview show. Then we'll run through the results from the Cup, the NRL, and un petit plus de France. I had to use Google Translate for that, but
that sounds slightly painful, or something you might need to see a doctor about.
It's just a little bit extra.
There we go.
Yeah, un petit plus. Then we'll make our predictions for the first round of Super League and drop a little combined nations themed quiz on you, Tim, before getting out of here.
Okie doke.
But first, a couple of threads of feedback from our season preview show, which you should all obviously go back and listen to. So Mark at Wilco2205 got in touch. He got a bit hot about the Man of Steel conversation. So he said, I think people are too harsh on the Man of Steel system. The only time we've seen it used properly was 2019. The 5 finalists were from the top 5 sides, and it was won by a grand finalist. 2020 is an anomaly for many reasons, not least since McShane won from a weird last-minute rule change. In fact, I'm changing my say what prediction. At least 4 of the top 5 sides will feature in the final 5 Man of Steel contenders, is what Mark's saying. So yeah, Alan and David were particularly critical of the Man of Steel system, but I think we all had a little bit of a role in talking about that, didn't we, Tim?
Yeah, I've not particularly liked it from the start. I think it's just like we're copying the Aussies rather than doing our own thing. It's also almost identical to the Albert Goldthorpe, even though that becomes something completely different because of who judges it. I like the way they reinvented it with having the panel. I think that's a good part of it, but I don't like the way it kind of is. It doesn't kind of give you that element of the players choosing, which I quite liked, even when they did do some stupid things. But again, that was entertaining in and of itself. I think there's probably a hybrid model between the two that you could go down, which is probably fairer across all of it.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I did try and pull it back a little bit by mentioning the 2019 finalists, and even 3 of the final 5 last year were from played in the grand final. It's just the other 2 played for teams who finished in the bottom half of the table. So yeah, let's give it more due, more time. I actually didn't mind the rule change at the end of last year. That meant it could be then a panel pick. I think that adds, like, you want to know who the contenders are, and you want to get a consensus of who the contenders are through the weekly scores. But I think the weekly scores shouldn't be the be-all and end-all, because it doesn't necessarily then reflect on who had the greatest season.
Yeah.
Because it could just be someone had an amazing run of form for 10 matches. They could have been dog shit for the rest of the season, and still be, like, featuring high. So yeah, but like you say, it's great to have the panel on board, great to have the big names back associated with the game in a realistic way, and actually probably one of the positives that came out of the Elston era that we'll talk about when we get to the news. The other bit of feedback we got was from Cutthroat Jake at cut_throat_Jake on Twitter. He said, FYI, 200 centimetres is 6 foot 6. Sorry, hold on, let me read this out. 6 foot and 6.74 inches. And then he said Wayne McDonald was 6'7". This came from me talking about Corentin Lecam, the towering Catalans youngster that I said was the tallest player to play in Super League since SLP began.
So that means he's actually shorter than Dane Tilse.
Well, Dane Tilse was only 200 centimetres according to his Wikipedia page.
Oh, I had him down as 6'8".
Yeah, well, I did sort of check things over, and the Catalan site has Lecam listed as 205 centimetres, which the internet tells me is 6'8" inches, and actually, I can't remember the precise 6 foot 8 point whatever, but it was 8 point quite high. It was, and he's 4 centimetres taller than Adam Lawton, who was in turn 1 centimetre taller than Dane Tilse, who were the previous tallest players to play during the SLP era, i.e. 2017 onwards. Obviously, Wayne McDonald retired in about 2006 or 7 or something, so way before us. But yeah, that they are all in the conversation as the tallest, but Corentin Lecam is, statistically at least, from what I've been able to find, the tallest player to have played in Super League. Well, he hasn't played yet.
When he makes his debut, he will be.
When he plays, yeah. And he seemed to go quite well in some of the pre-season friendlies, so I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a chance, especially with how small their squad looks this year in terms of depth and that sort of thing. A couple of shout-outs as well that I want to make. More signposting some stuff rather than shouting out to anyone. Don't forget to join our SLP fantasy competition. and the Super Brew Predictions League. The shout out there to Bruiser, who always sets up the Super Brew Predictions League. Find out details on our episode blog post at superleaguepod.com. But lots of people have already been joining in, Tim, and I'm just going to get the fantasy up because we've had some decent names in so far. One of them is a Wigan fan who's gone with Luluai, Always Me.
Okie doke.
Are we on board with that one? And if I can remember my password to get in to the fantasy team, I could give you. We've got Tom Andrews has gone with Hull KR fan, of course, has gone with All I Do Is Quinn.
Not bad.
Yeah. We've got a couple of silly puns from Peter Rickardson, who's gone with maths debater, and he's also gone with Yuri Nater fan club. So a couple.
Is that Russell? Is that Russell Packer's fan club?
Stuart Wood's gone with David Argyle owes me $750.
Fair enough.
Definitely fair enough.
Join the line, unfortunately.
Yep. But I think the winner in the best team name so far this year is Mark Wilkinson, Huddersfield fan, who's gone with 7 Caesar Rye.
Oh!
There you go.
That's going to take some beating. I mean, the gauntlet has been well and truly laid down.
Exactly. Good stuff there. But I'll put details for how to get. There are details on our Facebook page or on our Twitter page if you want to search them out. But I'll put them in the episode blog post on superleaguepod.com for the Fantasy League and the Super Brew competition. And also just want to remind everyone, if they haven't already, of course, go back and listen to our 2021 season preview episode to hear our predictions for the year ahead. How do we think your team will do? Who do we think wins what? Well, you'll need to go and listen to that to find out. So please do check that one out. Okay, Tim, I think we've got a bit of news to catch up on. Shall we do it?
We've got several interesting stories and a few others as well. So time for the news, and Super League Executive Chairman Robert Elston left his role with effect from the 5th of March, resigning 2.5 years after his somewhat controversial appointment to the Super League board. His resignation came after clubs rejected a private equity offer which was worth a reported $60 million from Nova Alpina Capital, while the new TV deal Elston was appointed to secure is also expected to come in with a reduction in income. In a statement on the Super League website at the time of the announcement, Elston said, "I'm grateful to the Super League board for giving me the opportunity to do the job I've always wanted, and will look back with great pride on what's been achieved since I joined Super League at the start of its new journey almost 3 years ago. I also like to thank colleagues, clubs, coaches and players and our great partners for their unswerving commitment to Super League. They've made my time at Super League enjoyable and fulfilling, and I leave with many wonderful memories. Rugby League will always be in my blood, and just as I have always believed for as long as I can remember, it has a bright and exciting future. I look forward to watching that unfold." The Super League board added, Super League would like to thank Robert for his commitment and energy and he has brought to the role of executive chairman. His undoubted passion for the game of rugby league has always been clear, and he's worked hard to increase the success of Super League. We wish him every success in his future endeavours. Before we tell you what we think about this one, we had a few fan views on this one.
Yeah, Tom Andrews said, "Pizza man getting pied off. Game hasn't progressed under him. Hopefully someone with some drive for change comes in." And Carsten said, "Good payout for average work. Nothing new in rugby league."
Yeah, if only that wasn't funny or true. So, no great surprise in some ways that he is going. I suppose the sudden acceleration of his departure, was that inevitable as soon as he said he was going?
Yeah, I think in this particular time as